نحمده نصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ببركة إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم وصلي عليه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, welcome to this session, funeral ritual course, inshallah. We'll be talking about how to do ghusl of a mayyat and as well as a kafan. So inshallah we'll make it sure, so the main thing we'll talk about is the ghusl of deceased. Many brothers and sisters have been texting me, ringing me, asking that they wanted to know when I'm organizing a workshop regarding the washing of deceased and the kafan. So I thought, why not do a session live, as you know, the crisis that we're in, where Muslims from all around the world, they can join in, and inshallah something to learn. And this is important that we learn this, and there's many of you that tune in, inshallah. Many of you might know this, but alhamdulillah, refreshing for us. I'm sure many of you are going to benefit to this course. The ghusl and the kafan, inshallah. As you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned in the Quran, kullu nafsin zaikatul maut, that every nafs is going to taste death. As Muslims, alhamdulillah, we believe in the life hereafter. We prepare in this life and for the hereafter. And there's rituals when a Muslim is born, there's certain rituals when he's born, the rituals that we do, and he comes to the world. Even prior to that, the nikah takes place by the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when the child is born, certain rituals that we are told by our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we carry out. For example, giving the azan to a child, doing the tahniq, putting something sweet in the child's mouth, cutting the hair of the child, doing akikah. All these are rituals that we do when a child is born. In the same manner, when somebody passes away, Islam teaches us to send somebody from this world in a dignified manner, with respect and honor. So when our beloveds go from the world, we have to make sure we give them the respect that they deserve. So that's what inshallah we'll try to cover, inshallah, in this session. To remind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that a believer has 5 rights over another believer. That one believer has 5 rights over another believer. And one of the things first the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned is to reply to the salam. Raddu salam. That when a Muslim greets you, he says to you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, verbally. We reply back to him by saying, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the right and haq. The second right the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned is ittiba'ul janaiz. That when your Muslim brother passes away, it's a responsibility, a communal responsibility, that the brothers follow his janazah prayer, or they participate in the ghusl or the shrouding. That's his right, that's his haqq. The third haqq the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned is iyadatul mariz. That when your Muslim brother is ill, that you visit him and you go see him, ask him how his health is doing, how is he. This is all his right and haqq. The fourth right the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned is to accept his invitation. When your Muslim brother invites you for a party, for an event that's taken, for a gathering or a wedding, you accept his invitation. That's his haqq and that's his right. And the fifth one is that when he sneezes and he says Alhamdulillah, we reply back by saying Yarhamukallah. And we know nowadays, people are running away from the sneeze, but obviously we know the rules that we cover our nose, we cover it between our the elbow, or we have a tissue paper. But when you hear anybody sneeze, and he says, Alhamdulillah, you reply back by saying to him, Yarhamukallah, Allah will have mercy upon you. That is his right. But the right that we want to cover today is about the deceased when he's passed away, what the rituals that we carry out about washing the body and the kafan. So inshallah, I hope you'll join me throughout this, inshallah. You'll benefit, from this, inshallah. You'll benefit how we wash the deceased. Because if you haven't done it, then it can be challenging. It's not easy. You got mayyat in front of you, it can be one of our beloved ones. So as Muslims, we have to be prepared always, or people from the community that are trained to do this in the proper manner according to the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man kana akhiru kalami la ilaha illallah dakhala jannah. His whose last words are la ilaha illallah shall enter paradise. So he's entering the Jannah. That's for us to remind him when he's going from the dunya that he says the kalima sharif. Not only this, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to encourage the ummah, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that he who shrouds his dead brother, somebody who passes away, and you participate in the janazah, You participate in the washing. You participate in the takfeen, in the kafan, the shrouding of your Muslim brother. And you participate in the Salatul Janazah. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that that individual shall be purified from sins. So this is our Messenger ﷺ encouraging the Ummah that we participate where we have a chance. Okay? And it's our responsibility that we as Muslims, we train ourselves, we train our youth, and we know if we cannot train everybody, then at least in each family there should be certain individuals who are trained to carry responsibility and this duty. So inshallah, we will go through some of the things that are necessary. Also what to mention is that when somebody performs a ghusl, it's not that anybody can come and do this. Unfortunately, people who are righteous, who are pious. Because if you see any shortcomings on the behalf of somebody who's passed away, the deceased, you keep the shortcomings to yourself, you don't mention them. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned, he who covers his brother, his shortcomings, Allah will cover him on the day of judgment. So even people who are pious that should participate in the washing of the deceased, the ghusl, in the kafan. You don't want people who are going to talk and say, oh, this was a deformity on his body, or there was this illness upon his body. No, they remain silent, they God conscious and they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so that's important also. Sometimes we see people when they pass away, okay, people go through hardships. Currently we're in a situation where we see people in a lot of hardship. But the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that when Allah Ta'ala, tries a person, tests a person, you go through trials and tribulations. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala expiates your sins. And when a person passes away, he shall meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free from all sins. He's been purified. Allah Ta'ala has forgiven all of his sins. This is the way to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we see some people at the time, they're having difficulty, when they're passing away. We mustn't say it's Allah Ta'ala's punishment. It's expiation of their sins that Allah Ta'ala wants to purify them. So that's also, we have to be aware of these things also. Okay, and there's many other hadiths the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. Just want to mention, just quickly, and then we shall go straight to the ghusl, and that's what the topic we want to cover. Well, if you know somebody who is passing away, it's a good idea that if you know that they're going to pass away, sometimes we don't do this, we do talqeen to them. Talqeen meaning, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, لَكِنُوا مَوْتَاكُمْ, do talqeen to those who are passing away. Remind them of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remind them of Allah ta'ala's tawheed, Allah ta'ala's oneness. That they used to say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We remind the individual of this. And then if he passes away in this day, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, Man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah dakhala jannah. His last words are La ilaha illallah shall enter Jannah. See, this is our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam teaching the Ummah. To talqeen to those who pass away. Not only this, if you see somebody is passing away, then it's ideal that you stand around and rather than talking and laughing and joking, we recite something from the Quran. We could recite Surah and other things that avoid. We go and remind Surah the Kalima. People say, oh, what are you doing? You will say, read the Kalima. Kalima Sharif, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, do tajdeed, renew your faith by saying La ilaha illallah. Remind yourself, continuously La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam during the day. And when somebody passes away, then we have a responsibility to remind our beloved ones of the Kalima Sharif that when they leave this world, they leave in a peaceful state and they leave by the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is final messenger. So these are some of the things, and there's much more to be said. Okay, but because we don't have that much time, the main thing we want to cover today is the ghusl process and the kafan. Inshallah, to make people aware about the ghusl and the kafan. Because Salatul Janazah, many of us will participate in Salatul Janazah. We go to the masjid, okay, and we participate, or even at the cemetery, participate in the Janazah prayer collectively, or individually we go to the prayers, so we know them. Sometimes we are unaware of the ghusl, the washing of the deceased, what it covers, and about the kafan, how many types of cloth are there for the women, or how many types of cloth are there for the men. So that's the important thing. So here, it's not somebody laying down. Okay, this is a manager. It's covered. Okay, so I've got somebody. Just move that out of the way. And you'll have to just bear because I'm working alone on this shot. So I've got the camera and then so I hope you join me throughout this. Now look, if somebody passes away and you're there, okay, then it's necessary that there's certain things, if the eyes are open, I won't be able to close the eyes of this mannequin, because the eyes will remain open, but if somebody's passing away, then it's necessary we close the eyes. So we just take our hands over there and we close the eyes. If the mouth is open, we close, maybe something can enter the mouth. So it's a good idea if you know somebody who's passed away, that we close the mouth and we tie something around the face to keep the mouth closed. So that is a good idea that we must do. Not only this, we turn the face towards the Qibla. Okay? So if you know somebody passing away, we'll turn their face towards the Qibla as much as we can. If not, then the feet are facing towards the Qibla. We tilt them slightly so the head is towards the Qibla. This is easy for a Muslim when he's passing away. It makes his rule easy to leave this dunya. And all our life, we as Muslims, we face towards the Qibla praying. We do our supplication towards the Qibla. Okay? And different worships, we do the tawaf, around the Kaaba. And praying towards us, our direction. So even at the time of death, we're reminded that when someone is passing, we face them towards the Qibla. So there's some of the things that are necessary that we do at the beginning. And there is more. Actually, the books of fiqh will mention many more things. But just because of lack of time and the surah that we want to come to, okay? So that was just an introduction so we understand what it entails. And when we see our books, there's books and books written on Kitab al-Janaiz. If you pick the Hadith books up, in there there'll be Kitab al-Janaiz, the chapter of Janaiz, when somebody passes away, how to do the washing and how to do the burying and how to do the takfeen. All these things are mentioned in our books. So we need to pick them up, read them, and start to implement them. Okay? Coming into the next point, I just mentioned to you what the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, that even at the time of death, whoever it is, the body, it needs reverence and it needs respect, and all matters, we need to honor our body. No matter if it's a Muslim or a non-Muslim. We even order if it's a non-Muslim that we even bury them. Okay? But these rituals that we're talking about today is for those that follow the Muslim faith, for Muslims. And that's inshallah what we're going to talk about is the method. And I already mentioned to you, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that he who washed a dead body, you participate in a washing of your dead brother's corpse, his body. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shall forgive 40 of his major sins. Allah ta'ala forgives 40 of his major sins. Look at the reward that we have there. Okay? Yes, in some of the sins we have to do tawbah. Also is recommended. And not only this, it's mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned that a person who washes a dead body, pays up his dues, he conceals his shortcomings, he is cleared of his sins as he was born presently. This is the reward for the one who participates in this. But the condition I mentioned previously, you don't mention any of his shortcomings. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that you bathe your brother, but at the same time you conceal his shortcomings. That if you see any weaknesses in his body, deformities, we don't go and speak to other people. We keep that to ourselves. We don't mention it to others. This should be kept to us. And the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned that he pays up his dues. The messenger will take responsibility. If anybody owed somebody a debt, the Prophet ﷺ will take responsibility upon himself to pay them dues. And we have a tradition when in the masajid, when they do the alan, they say if this individual owes somebody money, you can speak to so and so. Okay? And what's the reward? I just mentioned. The Prophet ﷺ said that he shall be cleared. Allah shall wipe out his sins as if he's born today. In another tradition, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that he participates up to the janazah prayer. He gets the reward of 2 qiraat. He gets the reward, 1 qiraat is equal to Jabal Uhud. That's the amount of sawab he receives. So these are the virtues that there's more I could mention. Just regarding the washing of the deceased, the kafan, not mentioning the shortcomings. There's great reward in this. And to remind you that the ghusl performance is farda kifaya. Farda kifaya meaning is act of which is performed by few people. So if few people from the community do this, okay, it's a communal responsibility, then everybody's responsibility is done. Whether we have salah is farda ain. That each one of us, we have to make sure we do our 5 daily prayers individually. I cannot pray for somebody, or I can't say the Maulana will do the prayer for me, he's been to the mosque. No. For the end is individual responsibility that we have. We make sure that we do our prayers. Okay, we do our 5 daily prayers. But the janazah prayer or participating in this, the washing of the deceased, this will further kifaya, a common responsibility. So if some people from the community do this, then everybody's responsibility is fulfilled. So that's why I mentioned in the community, we need to have people, brothers and sisters who are trained, that they carry out this responsibility. And it's not always the responsibility of the Maulana and the masjid. You know, it's not their responsibility. I remember a few years ago, I had a sister that came to me. She was upset, and I asked the sister what's wrong. She said to me, brother, my daughter passed away. Her daughter was 14-year-old. She passed away. She says, I couldn't find anybody. Very difficult for me actually to find somebody to come and help to wash the body of her daughter. She couldn't find nobody. And then she says, eventually, after a day or two, there was an old lady that they managed to get, and the old lady came. Okay? And she came and helped them and said, this is where you wash your body, and this is the way you do the kafan. You know, and that's, you know, we have responsibility. Now, our elders are going from the world. If we don't pass it on to our youth, then we might have things like cremation taking place. And you know, we know recently, you know, what took place, and you know, about few months ago. Okay, and people talking about it now. So we have to know our Muslim methods. You know how, when somebody passes away, about the washing and the kafan. Okay, when we do wash your body, just remember, males take responsibility to wash males, and females take responsibility to wash a female. Okay, so males will wash males, and females wash females. That's what we have to remember also. Now, before we start, you need some items that when we do the, for example, you need the scissors. You will need the scissors to cut the kafan. You will need, for example, you need some gloves. So I've got a glove here. Okay, I'll mention why, and I've got two more gloves also. So we need some gloves. We'll need, for example, a sponge. I have a sponge here. I'll mention why I've got this. You need a bucket. So you need a bucket with water. You will need soap, cotton, and you need a towel. You will need 3 pieces of sheet. I will go through the sheets, you know what type of sheets that we need. As well as 3 straps to tie the kafan. There's some of the items that you need. Okay? So the next that we have these items close by whilst we're performing a ghusl or making the kafan. Now the method. Now before we start, we have to remember, we don't know the state that the deceased is in. Okay, so we've got this body, but obviously he's got no clothes. I've covered the sadr. Okay, so if the deceased body comes to you and he has clothes, then it's necessary that we remove them clothes in the most honorable manner. But at the same time, we're observing that we don't look at the sadr. Sadr, the private area for a male is from the navel, including the knees. And for a female, it will be from this time, from a chest all the way, including the knees. Even though some would mention her sadr in this condition is the same as the male sadr. Okay? But it's preferred that it's covered from the chest, including the knees, that this is always covered and it's not exposed. Okay, so nobody should look, because I mentioned already, even those who have passed away, they deserve our reverence, respect. Okay? So if the deceased has come to you and there's clothes upon his body, then it's necessary that we remove them clothes. So you can remove them clothes as much as we can. Okay? Even if there's the undergarments, we even remove them, but without looking at the sadr. If we need to cut them, then we could cut the shirt out, we could cut the trouser or top, whatever it is, where we could cut them out. If the deceased comes and, for example, there's earrings or rings and we cannot remove them, okay, then we leave them, because we don't cause harm to the body. Okay, we're not going to try to remove the ring or the earring. If it's not removable, we leave it. We don't cause harm to even the dead. We don't clip no nails. We don't cut hair. Okay, we don't groom the dead body. We don't do none of them. Okay, yes, we wash it. We wash the deceased, because this is the practice of the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now the first thing when we start off with this, obviously we've got the body here, as you can see, his sadr is all covered. So we'll imagine this is a male from the navel, including the knee, that's all covered. Okay, so there's nothing exposed. So before I start, I need to make sure I have some water, and I have basically a glove. So we start off with the istinja. Okay, istinja, which we know is removing impurities from the private area, from the back and the front. Okay, so that's it. So what I've done is I've brought a lota with me, and I have got a glove. I've got the glove with lota. So before I start, if I'm the person washing the body, so I need to make sure that I do some ritual purity first. So I'll wash my hands. Ideally, if I'm in the state of wudu, I come clean, my hands are clean, I wash them prior to this. So that's a good idea. So before we start, we have to make sure the platform that we're using, you can even wash that with Dettol or something that you should make sure is clean. Okay, so ourselves, if you look, we like a clean environment. Same goes for a mayyat means the deceased. We have to make sure the platform where we're washing the body, that is a clean place. It's nowhere outside where other people can look. It's somewhere private, okay, where nobody. So it might be the funeral service, okay. So as you see, my left hand, I've covered it. So my hands are clean. I've done wudu. That's some of the practices. And we start with the istinja. And istinja is similar, like you would do istinja for yourself. Okay? So we go to the toilet, obviously, we have to make sure we relieve ourselves. Okay? I've got a sponge, so the one who performs istinja, so it's better that you can use a sponge so it doesn't feel the area, private area of the deceased. Okay? So you can either use a sponge, okay, or you can use a cloth, or even tissue, thick tissue, or even wool that you can't feel the area. Okay? And then when he's doing the istinja, okay, he can lift like this, or he can have assistance. I don't have any assistance here, but so you can imagine if there was a person, they can hold it here, and I will flow the water. Whilst flowing the water at the same time, just make sure I'm going between the legs and make sure there's any impurities. Okay? Without looking, if I need to look, the one who's the washer, then you are allowed to look. But if I don't need to look, I'll flow plenty of water, just rubbing the stomach around the area, making sure water reaches all part of the middle surface. Okay, and it removes any impurities. Okay, so you flow the water. So if I had to use a sponge, I can use a sponge, just push it and make sure I'm flowing the water and removing any impurities from the mayyat. So that will be that. So pushing the stomach. So that's istinja. If anything does come out, then necessarily I flow plenty of water around the body and all the impurities are removed. So that's the istinja part, that's important. Once istinja is done, istinja is similar to the method that we do. Okay, but obviously we're doing it for the mayyat. But at the same time, I mentioned we have to make sure we keep the reverence, the respect on them. We don't look at the satar, be a male or a female. Okay, once I've done the istinja and I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I've flowed enough water, I remove the glove. Okay. And then I will wash my hands. I will wash my hands again because we're going to go to the next process. So I'm just going to wash my hands and I'll get some gloves on. Okay. And once I'm back, do the istinja, that's it. Make sure, now I've got this, there's different kinds of containers that we can use. So to make sure, even the container I use, because I use this for the istinja, make sure you give it a good wash, or you use another container to do the wudu now. Okay? And we know for the wudu, like we do for ourselves, okay? So I'll intend here that I'm intending to perform the ghusl of a mayyat. So that's the intention I do in English. Okay, that I'm intending to perform the ghusl of a mayyat. So I'll do that myself. Now, we know there's 4 forms of wudu. So next time we do, once we do this, we do the wudu of the mayyat. And the wudu of the mayyat is a similar wudu the way we do. There's 4 forms that we need to do. We need to do the face, make sure that we wash our own face from the top of the hairline to bottom of the chin, earlobe to earlobe. Washing this once is fard and 3 times sunnah. Once you do that fard, we wash the right arm from the fingertip, including the elbow. Okay, so washing this 3 times, and then we do the right and the left. 1/4 of the head we do masa, and then we wash the right foot and the left foot. So something like this. Just give you an example. So imagine I'm washing the face. So I get some water. Make sure it's lukewarm water. It's not too warm. Just room temperature water that you would use on your own body. So I would flow the water, starting with the head. Okay, just making sure I cover the face everywhere. So going around the eyes. Okay. Sometimes you may not. The current situation, we try not to disturb the nose or mouth, okay? But we wash the face in this sense, okay? We are not going to put anything into the mouth, because obviously if you put water into the mouth, the maid cannot spit it back out. We're not going to put something in the nose, because it's not going to flow back, it's going back in. What we can do is, we can use cotton wool, and if the lips are unclean, okay, we can clean the lips or clean the nose, and make sure we dispose the wool that we use straight away, straight into the bin. So we wash the face. Okay, washing it once is fard, and 3 times will be sunnah. Make sure we cover all areas. Just make sure the head doesn't come off. Okay, there. And then we can do the right arm. So I've got the right arm here. I'll flow the water similar, starting here. Going between the fingers. We start from the fingertips, in between, going down, all the way up to the elbow. And we'll do this 3 times. So make sure we cover the fingers and everything. So once I've done the right arm, I'll do the same thing for the left. So we'll get some water, flow some water again, flowing, and making sure I'm going between the fingers, all the way to the bottom, all the way up to the elbow. So that's 2 fardun. The next one, I do the masa, so I can just wet my hand, and using my right hand, I do 1/4 masa of the head, because 1/4 is fard. So we do 1/4 of the head. The next fard, I move towards the feet. I would flow the water to the right foot first. And now when we do ghusl, we wash our feet to the end. That's because we're standing in the water, and the water is flowing into our feet. And that's water is unclean. But because this is a mayyit, we can wash the feet straight away. So we wash the right foot. So make sure I'm going between the toes, all the way up to the ankles. I do the right foot. And then the same way, I do the left foot. Make sure I'm going between the fingers and up to the ankles again. Okay? So that's the 4 fard done. Once the 4 fard are done, the next step after this is the ghusl. So far we have done the istinja, okay? We have done the wudu, and only the 4 fard. Now the next process is the main part, is the washing of the body, the mayyit. The ghusl is similar, like I said to you, similar ghusl that we would do to ourselves, okay? That we will start from the head, we will do our right side, our left side, and working our way down, right and left, okay? So next step is ghusl now. So I will take some water again, and for this process I can also use shampoo, you can use soap, okay? You can even use water that has khushbu in it, for example camphor, okay? In Pakistan they will use like a tree called beli. They have leaves, they will put it into the water, and they boil the water to give it a fragrance, okay? And they use that on the body, that's also fine. So we can use something in the water to give it khushbu, or that will preserve the body for a bit longer, okay? So starting with washing the full ghusl now. So we'll start with the head again, so you can flow water. At this point, try and make, when you're washing the body, if you use a spray, you don't want the water to be sprinkling. That's why, if you see, I've got the apron on, okay, and I've got gloves. If I wanted, I can also wear a mask. There's nothing wrong with that, okay, to wear a mask, and there's nothing wrong in wearing gloves and washing a body, okay. So that's for my own protection. So I start with the head. You'll flow the water, making sure water is going behind all over the head, behind the head, behind the ears, back of the neck, flow the water. And if I need to use shampoo or even soap, okay, I can use shampoo, I can use soap, okay. So I would wash the head thoroughly like I would do my own head. So making sure, going around all, between the eyes, ears, behind the neck, here if he's got a beard, so make sure you wash his beard, okay, that the water reaches the roots at least, okay, the water should reach over there, okay, just rubbing it and making sure water has reached all parts of the body. So when the head is done, then I start off by washing the top right. So we'll flow water again, get some water, flow it, just rub, okay, under the armpits, I will go under there, the arm. So making sure water flows everywhere. If I need to use shampoo again, yes, I can use shampoo and soap. So I can apply in my hands. I can rub it. So imagine I can go under, I can go here, the arms, with shampoo everywhere. Okay, and then I can flow the water. Once again, I'm making sure there is no soap left or shampoo on the body. I flow it all the way. Once I've done the top right, at the same time, I'll be doing the bottom, so making sure just the lower stomach, okay, just rubbing that, make sure water reaches there, and that's also clean. Okay, once I've done the right side, normally if you've got assistance, what next would happen is you do the back right. So you tilt the body slightly to the left, like this position here. So two individuals can hold the body here. So imagine somebody's holding the body here, and what I'll do here, I'll get water, flow the water the back, all the way to the spine and to the bottom here. Just make sure water flows, and then if I need to use shampoo, okay, I can use shampoo, soap, I can flow the water, give it a good rub, make sure water reaches all parts, so everything is wet here, okay, and then wash the soap away. Once I've done the right, I've done the top right, the bottom right. I'll repeat the process for the left side. So I'll flow water to the left, okay, all the way to the arm, go on the armpit, left, under here, okay, and then same again. I would tilt, you be careful, I would tilt him towards the right this time, just slightly here, and then make sure water flows to the back, all the way to the spine, back. Just repeating the process as we did for the right side, we repeat it for the left side. Once that's done, so the right and left done, then I can do the bottom right, so I'll do the bottom right, this side here, starting from the legs. You make sure you use shampoo, soap, flow it all the way behind the knees, just rub it everywhere, can be water reaches, and then I can flow, okay, and that's the responsibility of the, so I will do the right leg. Once I've done the right leg, I'll repeat the process for the left. Same way, I will flow water, make sure the knees come into the bottom, all the way to the ankles. I can even wash the feet, and that's the washing of the left leg. Now, process I've done there. So I've done the istinja, I've done the wudu. This ghusl I did, this is a big, at the beginning I've done this to make sure I reach all parts of the body. Now I'm going to do one wash of the body, that's fard, and then to do 3 is preferred. Okay, so once I've done this wash here, the next wash I'm going to do is I'll start again from the top. Now I'll flow water if I need to use shampoo. Okay, I'll flow enough water around the body, washing all parts, front, back. Okay, in between the legs, and wash that once more. Once I've done that, then sometimes what you can do is you can actually lift the mayyits, like the deceased, and just rub the stomach. And if there's any impurities inside, they can, they'll come out. And if they do come out, if something does come out, then you just flow water, just push them away. Okay, you don't need to repeat the process. Normally you can do this at this point because of the dementia, because the body will soften at this time because you've been flowing warm water, or you could do it at the beginning. But if you did at this time, if any impurity did come when you push slightly on the stomach, then you just get some water, flow the water, you make sure the impurities flow away, and then push them away. You don't need to repeat the process. You don't need to start the wudu again and the ghusl again. You just flow it away. Okay? So we do a full body wash. Now starting again, so when we do one body wash, I can do a second one. Okay? In the same manner, as I mentioned to you previously, so I can start again from the head, wash the body, boom. And now, this is, okay? Sometimes you might have a body that's burnt. Now you can't apply much water to it. Okay? Because if you're going to apply water to it, you're causing damage to the body. The skin's going to be falling, deteriorating from the body. So maybe that body we might not have to flow as much water. Or maybe that body that's burnt, we might have to do the massa. Okay, which will just entail wiping of the face and wiping of the arms. Okay? Now this also, the ghusl method I'm talking about is a body which somebody has, like a natural death, somebody passed away. Okay? He doesn't have any extra illnesses with him. Okay? Or somebody drowned. Okay? Then what do we do to a body like that? Okay? Because his body could be deteriorating, it could combust. Okay? So it all depends. This is a ghusl for a body which is in a good condition, and there's no medical condition, that restrict us washing the body this way. Okay? So once you do one wash, you can do a second wash. And now when we do the third wash, It's preferred that we do this third wash with camphor. Kafur they call it. And kafur, all that does, you can put that into the water. Again, lukewarm water, mix it in there. It creates some fragrant smell to it, like there's a smell to it. Okay, and then you can throw that. Or even if you have the leaves I mentioned, okay, or any other item that you want to use in the water, that's fine. Okay, and then you can flow that from top, just flowing all of it upon the body, making sure the water reaches. Okay, so that would be the process of ghusl. Obviously, when I'm talking to you, many think, oh, that's easy. But when you actually do a ghusl upon a mayyat, then you understand the complications, because sometimes you might have a body, it starts bleeding. The bleeding doesn't stop. What do you do? Okay, there's other complications. But so that you deal accordingly, if a situation arises, then you have to deal that accordingly. So we try to follow guidelines at that moment in time, any guidelines that we have. If somebody did bleed at this time, we try to stop it. We can put some wool in there, okay, some cotton, just to stop bleeding in the mouth or the nose. But if it did flow, you just flow it away using water, and then you could just put something in the mouth to stop it from bleeding. Okay, so this will be the process of ghusl. Okay, so we have to remember we did the istinja. Okay, then we mentioned we did the wudu, and then the ghusl, the washing process. Okay, but at the same time, if you mentioned, I didn't reveal any of the satar of the deceased whilst doing the ghusl. Once this is done, then we can obviously dab the body, and dabbing the body would be so making sure we're not drying the body, because like I mentioned, when we start scrubbing, we don't know the condition of the body, we don't want the skin peeling off. Sometimes it could happen. You just dab lightly, so you can take the towel. So we've got a purple towel here. Okay, find this towel, I can just dab the body slightly. Okay, you're making sure the wetness disappears. Okay, so I don't need to dry it, so I can just dab slowly everywhere the body, so make sure the wetness it disappears. Okay, points to be noted here also. So we like I mentioned, that we dab the body very gently. Okay, once that's done, the next process over here would be the kafan now. So that's a ghusl process, which is like simply I've mentioned to you, how to do the ghusl of a deceased. The next process would be either this platform that we have to make sure the platform is dry now, so we can dry it, or you will have another platform where you would get the kafan. So inshallah, the next process will be the kafan. So we'll talk about the kafan next. Okay. Next, I just have to move the body. So just move the body off the platform. So this platform I have here, just make sure it's clean. Okay. That's after the ghusl. So the next process will be obviously the kafan. Now kafan is a shroud cloth. Okay. And it's mentioned that if the Prophet ﷺ mentioned if any person shrouds a dead body, Allah will clothe him with fine silk and heavy brocade clothing in paradise. Now if somebody gave somebody a shroud cloth, that's what it will. Allah Ta'ala will give him a cloth in Jannah. Okay? And inshallah we're going to mention about the kafan for a male and a female. So just make sure this platform is clean. And then for the male, there's 3 pieces of cloth that we have. There's 3 sheets. And for the female, there's 5. Okay? So I will try to explain them, inshallah, how many pieces of cloth we have. Then I'll spread them out for you. And then we'll get the body back on. And then we'll show you how the kafan is tied and how we wrap the body. For the male, you have to remember there's 3 pieces of cloth. We have the something called the kameez, kurta and kafani. These are one thing. So you can call it kameez, kurta, kafani. It's just a shirt. Okay? People say write the kafani means just to write something upon it. The kurtas is the same thing. But it's something that doesn't have no pockets. So it doesn't have no pockets. Okay? It's not stitched. There's no stitching on it. It's just one piece of cloth that we call the kameez. Okay? Then we have something called the izar, which is sheer. This is from top of the head. Okay? The shirt would be from here. So when we wear the shirt, it's from the neck for the male. The same with the female. From the neck, including the knees. Okay? So it's including the knees that the shirt would be. And then the izar would be from the forehead up to the ankles. That's the second sheet. And then the third would be a wrapper, what we call the lifafa, a wrapper that you can tie at the top as well as you can tie at the bottom. Okay? So that is for the male. So I would normally say to people, I said remember 3 words, remember K-I-L, kill. K-I-L, K it means kameez, I means izar, L for lifafa, K-I-L. Or K, like I said, is the shirt, we call it kameez. Izar, that's the lower garment, but it's from the forehead up to the ankles. And then you have the lifafa, it's a bigger sheet that can be tied at the, slightly bigger than the mayat itself. Okay? And it can be tied at the top and at the bottom. Now people ask, how big should the kafan be? The kafan can vary, depending on the size of the body. Some people are big, some people are small, some are skinny. So depending on what size it is, you cut it accordingly. So there isn't a size I can say to you, it needs to be this many centimeters. It depends on the size of the body of the mayyat, of the deceased. So we take the measurements from there, of the deceased. Okay. So what I'll do next is, I've got a kafan here. So I'm going to spread it out for you, show you each cloth. And then what I'll do is I'll pick the body, I'll put it back on, and then I'll cover it. Okay. So this kafan I cooked, it's been cooked earlier on. Also here you see I've got 3 straps. I've got straps here that you also need. These straps are so we can tie. So we can tie the kafan. So now the 3 straps, you'll have one in the middle. Okay. You'll have one towards the feet side here. This, and I've cooked these, these are from the cloth itself. It's easy to make. You get the cloth and use a cloth which is like, you want to use silk for a male. Okay. Some cloth that the person will use in his lifetime. And white is ideal. Okay. The Prophet ﷺ used to like white color and said that when those who pass away, give them white. But if you didn't have a white cloth, then you can use any color. Okay. And we wrap the body. We will cover the body, we'll do the shrouding. But white cloth, this is for an ideal situation. The white would be ideal. But if you don't have white, then not to worry, you can use any color. And this is for the top. Okay, there. Now the first piece, of cloth I have is a lifafa. And I said the lifafa, like we said, lifafa is like a wrapper. So you can wrap the whole body. This would be the necessary kafan you can need is like a wrapper you can wrap the body in. But what we're going to mention is the preferred method of how many cloths we can use. But this would be the preferred method. But if you only have the lifafa and you wrap somebody in, that's fine. If you have lifafa and izar, that's also fine. Okay? So I've got the sheet here. So this will be my, I'll just spread it out. That is the lifafa. You see this body is pretty big, so that's why this cloth is, I'll spread it out. It's pretty big, the mayyat, our deceased, is pretty big. So that's the first cloth, we call the lifafa. The next one is the izar. Okay? The izar, as I said to you, from the forehead to the ankles. And this is for a male. I'll mention for the female, there's two extra pieces of cloth. One is the sina band, that's for the chest, from you can say from the shoulders, including the thighs. We'll mention that process, as we come to it, where that goes, inshallah. So we'll probably repeat this, but I'll repeat it with the process of with the sina band and the orni meaning the veil that comes, that the women we cover the face also. Okay. So this is the next piece. Okay. So this is the izar. So this is, as you see, this is a bit smaller than the lifafa. Just make sure it's equal on both sides. I think there's a bit more on this side. It needs to be so wide that you can wrap the body in, basically. You can wrap it in. Okay, you can wrap the body. And then the third thing would be the kameez. So I put the lifafa out first. Then on top of the lifafa I've got the izar, the lower garment from the forehead up to the ankles. And then we have the kameez. So this is what I've done earlier on. And the kameez is simple. Basically, two pieces. It's one piece of cloth. One big piece of cloth you can see here. Okay. I folded it into two. So basically, I had a cloth, and this is something, a kameez from I said to you from the neck, okay, all including the knees. So that's for the male and the female. So that's all, the satar is included. So I've got one big piece, I've got a big piece, I've doubled it, okay, and then I folded it, so it's, as you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, no, I think I'm out of the way, okay, yeah, so just see it's up to the knees, okay, it's double. And then what I've done is, I've just made a slit here, so that was over here, okay, so what I've done is, I've made a little slit there, okay, and I've cut it a T, I've cut a T, so I've done a T, the T there, I'm going downwards, where the neck goes, and then towards the right and left, so where the head can enter into there, I've made like a T there, okay, so that's the hole where the head will fit there, inshallah. So now I can get this, so it's two pieces, remember I put this, and if you look, there's no pockets on here, and it's not stitched, so I can put this out, taking, so the head will roughly come about here, or even if I move it down slightly, the head will go there, and then I've got a top piece which I can roll. So top piece, I can roll this there, and then we'll have the head on the main that will come here. Okay? Just bring my mayyat back. Okay, I've got the mayyat back here, and each point you have to remember the sadr or the mayyat is covered. I've not revealed the sadr. Is a good idea. We've done the ghusl, istinja, that we change this cloth, we put a cleaner cloth on here, okay? So there's the head. So now I've got the kameez, I've got all the three pieces, I've got the lifafa, which is a bigger piece, we can first the top and bottom. Then on top I've got the izar, and then on top of that I have the kameez. Okay, so I'll start off with the kameez. So you see there, straight away it rolled on, and I'll just roll this down all the way to the bottom. Okay, all the way to the bottom, and then at the same time I can do this piece is no longer required. I was covering a satar. as I have. And then this obviously you can dispose this or wash this and use it again. So that is the kameez. So we've got the kameez there, right on top. Okay? So that's the kameez for the mayyit. And it's all the way up to the knees. Then I've got the next chadar was the izar. So I take it from the left, so remember left of the mayyit. So I'll take it from the left side. Okay, so that's the izar. So we've got the kameez. That should be straightforward. Just I've cut it like I said, the T so the head can fit here. Just simple and easy. Okay, just white cloth. Okay. Then I have something called the izar. So I can hold the izar. I bring it from left side. I bring it across to the right. So I'm bringing it across here. I've covered the face for now. And so now when we do the ziyarat, obviously we can uncover it at that point. So that's left to right, and then right, taken from this side all the way to the left. This moment. Okay. I'll cover the face for now. And then we've got the lafafa, the bigger piece. Same way I take it from the left, bring it from the left, bring it across to the right, in this form here. And then I take it from the right to left. So let's just cover the feet. Money. Okay, I'll cover this for now. And that's good. And then the 3 ties I can tie up. So the kafan, it doesn't open because we're going to be moving about. We don't want it to open, so you can just, like a soft knot. And this knot is normally open when we lower the body into the cupboard. We'll open it up, okay? And then towards the feet, I can fasten this here. And then we'll have one at the top, so this we can gather here, and we can tie it there, okay? And that would be the kafan for a male, okay? So we can tie that. Sometimes we do the ziyarat. Obviously, when they get the ziyarat done, we normally keep their face uncovered, something like, done. The head's turned around, something like that, and then obviously people can do ziyarat of the mayyit, okay? So that would be the kafan. For the male. For the female, there's 2 extra pieces. So I'm going to go through the female. So the sisters watching at home, so they'll understand how to put out the female kafan. So that's also necessary for the sisters. So they also understand. But many times there'll be confusion, thinking, oh gee, we need this many cloth, this, we didn't need a dupatta. No, this is sufficient. This is preferred method for a male kafan. So we'll go through the female kafan, inshallah. I'm just going to tie. So that would be the kafan. For the male. Once the kafan is done, then we mustn't waste any time, but apart from we go into janazah prayer, do the janazah, and then the burial. And for the janazah, even if for the kafaya, if even one person, even the imam does the janazah of the mayyit, that's sufficient. So we don't need to, we see when somebody passes away, the masjids are full. It's for the kafaya. The reason it's for the kafaya lies of one person is she's not to interrupt our daily life. So people continue to do the things. The salah is, for the ayn that we do individually. So maybe even if one person went, the imam and he did a janazah prayer, that's sufficient. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that he who has 3 safs can be 7 people. Okay, you participate in janazah prayer, that's enough. So we don't need to have thousands of people to say that this person was like a holy person, or we're going. Sometimes we just go to show our face, that I was here. So even one person, one person participates, that's enough. Okay? So that was the male. So inshallah, just quickly go to the female one. I'm just going to open this again, so I hope you understood the part. So just untie this quickly. There's 2 extra pieces for the female that I would like to mention before I continue. And that would be our session, inshallah. Just going in circles. So it's ideal to have two, 3 people for assistant. Just reel that. Off it goes. I need to cover the sattar again. So let me just close your eyes and just cover that there. Just, that's fine. And that's fine there. Just uncover that. I need to take this off now. Just move the body. Just move the body to the ground again. The heads come off. We're just going to move the head. Put that back in there. Okay. Shirt's back. Okay. That's back. So again, just quickly, I'm going to go to the female. So I'm just going to take this kameez off again. So that's the kameez. I'll mention what the extra clothes are. So I've got the lifafa. So the extra is, so and we still have, for the female, we still have the izar. So you still have the izar, remember the garment from the forehead up to the ankle. So we're still going to use this. So I'm just going to move this down here. We also still have the lifafa. So the lifafa was that we could tie to the top and the bottom. So I can move that off here. The extra piece, and there's difference of opinion, it can either just go before the lifafa or even after. In this case, I am going to do it before the lifafa. In case if you see a body, you recognize the body by its, we call it sina band. Okay? Something that's holding the chest down, including the thighs. You'll recognize a female kafan by just looking at the pieces of cloth. Okay? So the sina band is a cloth here. So I can get the sina band. So as I mentioned, something from the chest including the thighs. So that can go just roughly in the middle there. Just about there. Okay. And then on top of this, we've got the sina band. We'll have the lifafa. Lifafa will go on top of this. So you got this, just put the sina band out, and then I'm putting the lifafa on top. What we'll do for it? So you've got lifafa, we've got the izar, okay? So the izar, this is the lower garment, forehead, including the ankles. And at this point, I can lay out the orni. Now, orni is a headgear. People think it's a scarf sometimes, but it's not a scarf. It's like a veil. Basically, it's from the back, okay? And then it folds forward like this onto the lady's face, onto her chest, okay? That's called the orni. So I am gonna, so basically like earlobe to earlobe, depending on the face. So look, it's like a veil, okay? So basically it's gonna fall from the back, if you see from the back. And then it's falling to the chest like this, so the face is covered. Okay, and then you can move this. So if I put this out, so I'll put this out roughly here, so where the head and the kameez are going to go. So the head will roughly come about there, and then the orni will fall on the chest. So get the kameez back out. And this is the method that we've learned, but there might be other methods that people do, but this is a preferred method that we would use for a female. So don't worry if you're using a different method and technology, or the books have different methods, but this is the method that alhamdulillah that we've learned from our teachers, we've seen in books, and this is a method that I'm mentioning. So if you have a different method, don't worry, as long as we get the kafan, we use the necessary chadran, the sheets, okay? So here's the head again, so that's going to go there. Again, similar to the, I'll lift this up, but that's where the body is going to come. I've explained this already. So now, to get the mayyat back. Back here. Just there. So the head down. Okay. So now, imagine now if this was a female. Remember, I already mentioned to you, males wash males, males do kafan to a male, females to female. This is for education purposes to teach. We're going through this process. So first again, I cover the shirt. Remember the kameez, similar to the male one, it's all the way to the bottom, including the knees and even bottom. And then I can move this piece that was covering the supper. Don't need that. Next, after this, I have the orni. So remember I said back. This will come forward like this. It's covering the female's face. And it falls into the chest. This is slightly bigger, but it will fall on the chest. So it's covering your face like this. And when we do this, obviously we open up. The rest of the pieces are similar. So we've got the izar. So I take a left. I will take left to right. Same way. So I bring this across. So remember the face is covered. The face is covered. I've got the next piece here. Just go across there. Let's just cover this body. And the izar, similar to the lifafa. Bringing it across. Making sure there. Next piece. Right to, so remember it's left to right and then right to left. Okay, that's covered there. And then the sina band I mentioned. So this is from the female, like we said, the shoulders or the chest up to the thighs. So this will come again across here. It's nice and tight. There. And that will go across there. And then we can do the ties. For the female, what we can do is, you can have an extra tie, so you'll have one at the bottom, as we did for her. Male, so we can fasten that there. And then you can have, for the female, you can have one towards the thigh, just here. Okay, so that will also hold the sina band. And then you can have one here, which will keep this, and then you got one at the top. When you do the ziyarat, obviously, people there don't be a dupatta, okay? We uncover the face. So where's the face gone? And then you would have this across. All you do is you can lift this up. So it's a bit there. Keeping the lady's hair covered. Okay? Something like that you can do. And also to remember for the lady, when you, the ghusl process is almost similar. There's other processes, but mainly when you wash your hair, you would part them into two, and you would put the lady's hair on top of her chest. So you take it into two, some of the hair will fall on this side, on the right, and some on the left, and then that would be covered. And then on top of that would be the orni and rest of the sheets. That would be the female kafan. So alhamdulillah, we mentioned the male kafan and the female. So we've gone through the process of ghusl. How to do ghusl for a male is similar with a female, okay? And then we mentioned the kafan process, the sheets that we require. Now, I hope you know through this video that you've learned, okay? You've learned through this. Normally, I've done this process on a table here, okay? Sometimes, if it's Pakistan or other places, you might have two platforms where you wash the body on one platform, and then you move the body to another platform. Here in the UK, what happens is you wash the body on a tray, like a platform like this, and then the way I set the sheets up for the mayyit, that'll be in the coffin. So you'll have the box, and then you put the lifafa there. On top of the lifafa, you put the izar, and then the shirt. And then when you lower the body, you lower it into the box, then the casket or the box itself, and the body lowers down, and then you can wrap it according to the way I mentioned. So this is the process that would be for a male and a female. Just get some water. So that was the process, alhamdulillah. As quick as I could have gone through the ghusl process, as well as the kafan. Okay? The thing is, you should practice this at home. You can cook kafan at home, you can teach your families. This video should benefit you. Sisters can also watch this as well as brothers, about the ghusl and the process of kafan. After this, as I mentioned, then this next process will be the janazah prayer. Again, that's fardu kifaya, and I already told you the rules, regulations. We go to the janazah prayers, we attend regular. Okay? And it's an easy process. And then after this is the burial, and that the burial has its own rules and regulations. But today the process was, alhamdulillah, to cover the ghusl process and the kafan. So I hope, alhamdulillah, you benefited. If you benefited, pass this on to others so they can also learn from this video. And we can pass this knowledge on to our younger generation. And I mentioned, it's something that, in your life, sometimes loved ones pass away. So it's necessary in the family you have certain individuals who are trained and they can do this responsibility, they can do this duty or this responsibility. Okay? So we train our youth. So the mission today was to pass this on information, this informative process to the brothers and sisters listening. Alhamdulillah, there's many brothers and sisters that are listening. I've got a masjid from Huddersfield. They said they were going to join in. Masjid al-Ghawsiyah under Hazrat Allah Maulana Umar Khayat Qadri. They've got their team. They've got some volunteers that want to take this training. So they also done many as well as other brothers and sisters. So Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah for listening. If you have any questions, you can post them on Markaz al-Islami on our Facebook page. You can join that on our Facebook and you can post any questions and we'll try to answer them. Or obviously you can't visit in this moment in time. That's why here I had to do this process alone without aid and help of other individuals. Okay, but you can, either you can post your questions to our Facebook page and then we try to answer them questions, inshallah. But this was a process for a mayyat which is, it doesn't have any illnesses or any other conditions. With the current situation we're in, we'll have to follow the certain guidelines that we are presented by the authorities, so we follow them guidelines. So Jazakallah khair for listening, inshallah, and I hope you'll continue following us. There might be small workshops that we do, apart from this, so you can tune into that also, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.